Destruction and Rectification, Part 2, The Tragic History of Bein Hamitzarim. Yesterday we learned about the events that took place on the 17th of Tammuz, as well as the practice of commemorating the 3 weeks between the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Av as our transition from Geula to Galut. We also noted that 5 separate tragic events took place on the same date hundreds of years apart. This phenomenon is not unique to the 17th of Tammuz. The Mishnah in Tanit records 5 separate events that took place on the 9th of Av, and the Gemara in Tanit adds 5 separate events that took place on the 15th of Av. In a similar fashion, Chazal tell us that several significant stories took place in Tanakh on the holiday of Pesach, both prior to Yetziat Mitzrayim, such as in the lives of the Avot, and afterwards, such as in the lives of the Shoftim. These patterns point toward an important understanding of Jewish holidays, and perhaps time in general, which we alluded to yesterday. Events don't make certain days significant. Events happen on certain days because they are significant. The period of the 3 weeks has been characterized by tragedy, both in ancient as well as recent Jewish history. Most notably, the Jewish expulsion from England, 1290, and the Jewish expulsion from Spain, 1492, took place during this time. In more recent history, the War Protective Edge broke out during this period following the kidnapping and killing of 3 teenage boys in Gush Etzion. Additionally, one of the most traumatic events in the state of Israel's history, the disengagement from Gush Katif, was scheduled for this time, but was ultimately delayed for the express purpose of not coinciding with the 3 weeks. The suffering experienced by Am Yisrael during this period has left permanent marks on our national identity generation after generation. We learned yesterday that this phenomenon points to a unique understanding of the Jewish calendar as well as time in general. The Maharal has a powerful insight into the period of Bein Hamitzarim in light of the specific time of year when it falls out. He begins by introducing the idea that Torah and Am Yisrael are about balance. We are responsible for exhibiting balance in the world, between Din and Rachamim, between personal interests and national responsibilities, between Torah and Derech Eretz, and countless other apparently conflicting ideas. With the Torah's guidance, we represent God in the world by balancing all of his values, and more importantly, showing how they may work together, rather than embracing one extreme or one single value disproportionately. The Maharal goes on to make a fascinating observation as to the times of the year that are conducive to Am Yisrael's success, and those conducive to our failure. He explains that different times of year can be categorized as balanced or extreme. Certain times of the year are extremely cold, extremely hot, extremely dark, extremely light, extremely dry, or extremely wet. Other times are balanced, not too hot, not too cold, an even day and night, 12 hours of light, 12 hours of darkness, just enough rain to grow crops without being destructive. Because Israel's job in the world is to represent balance, balanced times of year like Tishrei and Nisan are conducive to our success, and in fact, our biggest national victories and most significant holidays, Pesach and Tishrei, are during those times. Pesach and Sukkot, rather, are during those times. By contrast, times of extreme cold and darkness like Tevet, or extreme heat and light like the end of Tammuz and the beginning of Ab, are conducive to our enemy's victory over us. Not coincidentally, the 10th of Tevet and the 17th of Tammuz and the 9th of Ab constitute the 3 most tragic events in our history, each one bearing a connection to the destruction of the Beit HaMikdash and our exile. In light of the Maharal's comments, we shouldn't regard the 3 weeks as a tragic time just because of the events that took place during this period, rather a time which in its very essence is conducive to our struggle and our defeat at the hands of our enemies.